Okay, ambiguous cases. So the thing I have to stress to you about ambiguous cases, do you guys know what the word ambiguous means? Do you guys know what the word ambiguous means? Anybody? No? Yes? Maybe? Kind of? Sort of? Ambiguous means multiple possibilities. Like, I give you an ambiguous answer, you don't know if I'm positive or negative in my answer. But ambiguous cases is tied to sign law. It's not something we use with cosine law. And I know I've talked a little bit about cosine law, which we were going to do tomorrow. No, we weren't. 2.5 is cosine law, and that's coming up. But sine law has the ambiguous cases. So here's the situation. When I give you two sides, do you guys remember yesterday's examples? Yesterday's example, when I gave it to you like this, I didn't draw the triangle for you. So when I give it to you like this, where you have two sides and an angle, we just drew one triangle, and I talked about this yesterday that it's going to get more complicated. We just drew one and we assumed that that was good, but we can't assume that there's only one possibility. So, did you find yours, Darasimi? Your notes? Okay. I was like, are you sitting there without notes? We could probably find you a set. So there's a possibility that more than one triangle can be drawn. So there's 4 options. One unique triangle. That's like what we did yesterday. That's like the lesson from 2.3. And then we could end up with one right triangle. We can end up with a triangle that can be drawn 2 different ways. So that results in 2 possible triangles. And then sometimes there's no answer. So these ones are what we're building on today. That's what we're building on today. Okay, so here's the thing. So how do you know what triangle or type of triangle you have? You have to do a test. I will point out to you that this information is right here on your formula sheet. Okay, so you don't have to remember this or commit this to memory. It is located on your formula sheet. But you need to know how to use the test. Okay, you got to know what it means. All right, so remember I talked about matching sets? You guys with me? Okay. So your matching set is angle A and side A. So when I'm talking about this, when I'm referring to A here, I'm referring to the side that's in your matching set. Again, the letters may change. If you have a triangle that's X, Y, Z, the letters are different, but really what you need to know is it's the matching set. So this is the matching side of the set. So that means you have the angle to go with this. So I'm not really concerned about being letter A. I'm not concerned about being the letter A. It's just the side that matches with the angle. So you're going to have a matching set, and then you're going to have one other side. So if this side A is greater than side B, you've got your one triangle. We solve it like 2.3. We just draw our triangle and we go. Okay. But then if A is less than B, so if that matching side set is less than the other side given, we got to do some more math. Okay? And we'll go through all these steps. So if side A is less than B times sine of A, there's no solution. We all hope for those, because then you just write no solution and you're done. If A equals B times sine A, you have one right triangle, and we can all do that. That's pretty easy. This is the tough one. When A is greater than side B, the other side, times by the matching angle, sine of the matching angle, you get 2 possible triangles. So when I say 2 solutions, really what I mean here is 2 possible triangles. Okay. All right. So we're stretching your thinking for a bit. I'm grabbing a different color. So a two-solution triangle looks like this. All right. So I'm going to grab a highlighter. This would be my first triangle. So that would be triangle 1. That looks really like what we did yesterday, right? So it looks like a 2.3 triangle. It looks like just a basic standard triangle. But you're going to do one more step. So what happens is this 85 ends up swinging in here. Swinging in here. So you end up with this. So, I got too many things. So yellow is triangle number 1. And then that outer side swings in, and you end up with this little tiny triangle like that. So green is the second triangle. I'm just abbreviating the word triangle into a symbol because it makes it easier for me. All right, now what I have to show you is you have a third triangle in there. Do you guys see it? You guys see it? It's this triangle, right? Okay, that orange triangle is a helping triangle. It's not a solution, but it helps us find the solution. So yellow is triangle 1, so that's the big one. Green is triangle 2, so all my solutions will be either in yellow or green. And the orange is what I consider to be a helping triangle. So here's your small triangle, your green triangle. That's your green triangle. And then this one would be your yellow triangle. And it's that piece that gets kind of cut out in between the two that's our helping triangle. And we'll go over those things as we go. Hopefully it will make a little bit more sense, but I will tell you that this is traditionally a very tough lesson just because it's kind of hard to get your head wrapped around it. Okay, so that's me and all my highlighters. Are you guys good with that? Perfect. Okay, here we go. Example numero uno. All right, deep breath. Solve for the missing information of triangle ABCD. So if I do not give you the picture, or there's no context of the situation, you have to assume that it's ambiguous. So we don't know what the answer is. Okay, so what is my matching set? What letters go in the matching set? A, right? Because we have the side and we have the angle. So that I'm going to refer to as my matching set. It just so happens that I use the same letters that I did. I really need to change that before. Okay, so now we need to figure out some information. So we go to our ambiguous case triangles. So remember that A represents the side of the set. So if A is greater than B, there's one unique solution. And if A is less than B, I have to do some math. So is A greater than or less than B? It's greater than. So what does that mean if I look at this? Right here. We're here, right? A is greater than B, so we just have one solution. That means one triangle. Yay, this is 2.3 from yesterday. Easy peasy. So if you get this is like just doing your 2.3 question. Draw your triangle, solve for the missing pieces, get on with your life. All right? So let's go ahead and do that. So if you didn't practice your homework last night, you're going to get to practice it in today's example. So we know that A was greater than B, so one solution or one unique triangle. All right, so remember yesterday I said that I was going to get you to label triangles in a very specific way. So here I'm going to put some rules on you. Your matching set. The angle is always in your left corner. Okay? So this means that my 30 degrees goes there. So where's side A? It's across from it, right? It's on this side right here. So there's my 4. Now, the other side, whatever this other side is, do you guys all remember what adjacent means? What does adjacent mean? Next to, beside, right next door. So whatever the other length is, so the thing that's not part of the set will be on the adjacent to the angle. And so it will be on the left-hand side of the angle. So it will be here. So this would be my 3. So where's my letter B? Bottom right. Does that make sense to everybody? This is going to come into handy when we are doing 2-case triangles. So it's nice that we're going to practice on a 1 case, and then we're going to continue this on for the others. So then where's C? C has to be up top, right? It's the only place left. Ooh, that's side C. All right. So this says solve for the missing information. So what do I mean by that? It means I'm solving for everything that I don't know. So what do I have to solve for? I have to solve for 2 angles and 1 side. Okay, so if this is just basic, the first thing I start with is my matching set. So I'm going to have 4 over sine of 30. And what am I solving for first? I have to solve for angle B because C has I'll have 2 variables and I can't do anything with that. So I have to go ahead and solve for angle B next. So I'm going to have 3 over sine of B. Because as soon as if you have 2 unknowns, so 2 variables in your sine law, it will not work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So 4 times sine B equals 3 times sine 30. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So sine B equals, it's like I had a calculator, I really did. 3 times. Oh, this is nice. It's a terminating decimal. So that's always nice. I don't have to write out a bunch. So I'm finding the angle. So again, I'm making sure my calculator's in degrees. So angle B is going to be the second function sine of that decimal. And we'll round our degrees to the nearest whole degree. All right, so we found angle B, and it's 22 degrees. All right, so what can we find right away? Angle C, and we're going to use that information. Angle C is going to be 180 minus 30 minus 22. So angle C is going to be 128. Is that correct? 128, I did my mental math right? So notice I'm boxing in my answers. I find that keeping my math neat with this does make a difference. I know for some of us, maybe neat isn't what we want, or what we're used to, but it does make a little bit of a difference. So now we know that this is 128. Okay, what's the longest side of my triangle? C, right? Biggest angle, longest side. Those always match up together. So now we know this piece. Now we can solve for side C. So again, we start with that matching set that I highlighted there. I'm just going to switch colors. So I've got 4 over sine 30. Woo. Sine 30 equals, and now I don't know side C, but I know its angle is 128. So I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. And I want to get C by itself, so I'm going to divide by sine 30. And this time I'm not looking for an angle, so it's just straight multiplying and dividing in my calculator with a few trig functions. 4 times sine of 128, divide by sine 30. And we're going to round to 2 decimal places, so 6.30. And I don't have any units on there, so I'm going to leave it without units. Okay, so what I've just done is I've solved the triangle. In the next example, I use that language. We solve the triangle, so solve for all unknowns. All right, so we good with that? Any questions? That was yesterday's lesson, so we just added a couple different layers. I want you to do a test, and then I want you to label a triangle appropriately. Okay, so now we have another example, triangle ABC, angle A is 30, A is 2, and B is 3. So what's my matching set? A's again. I really need to get more creative. A's are my matching set. And I don't know if it makes sense to you guys to highlight it or circle it or do something. So now, just let me wipe that off. Okay, so is A greater than or less than B? Okay, so A is less than B, do math. Okay, so if that's the case, if A is less than B, you have to do some math. This is the math that I want you to do. It's almost like a side note off to the side, just like we did in completing the square. So it says A, and I'm going to put a little fluffy cloud here. There's my fluffy cloud. And it's going to be 3B times the sine of A. So I'm just filling in that information. Let me write that down. A, fluffy cloud, B times sine of A. So all I did was take my A, put it in here, side A, put it in here, side B, put it in there. Okay? Easy peasy. So now you're going to do some math. In my calculator, I need to figure out what 3 sine 30 is. That's the math I have to do. So this is what I'm going to calculate. So 3 times sine 30 is going to give me 1.5. So I have 2 fluffy cloud, 1.5. So you've got some choices. Is it greater than? Is it equal to? Or is it less than? Yep. That's sine of 30. You didn't times it by 2. Or, sorry, by 3. Times it by 3. Sine of 30 is 0.5. And then if you times by 3, you should get your 1.5. Do your sine of 30 first. Then times by 3. Got it? Yeah. I'm only really good at that because I teach the grade 12 course and I know that sine of 30 is a half. You will also get really good at that too. Okay, so is 2 greater than, less than, or equal to 1.5? So I like to just keep my fluffy cloud there so in the end I can make a statement. So my fluffy cloud is like a little placeholder. I'm not really sure. I've done some math. So this turns into that. And we made the statement that 2 is greater than 1.5. And I would agree with you. So now we go to our list, and if A is greater than B times sine A, how many solutions do we have? This is the two triangles, right? So this is going to tell me that I have two triangles. Whew, I didn't leave myself a ton of room to do this one. Okay. We ready? Everybody emotionally prepared for this? So we're going to draw our first triangle. All right, we're going to draw our first triangle. So the first triangle is the big one. Where does the A go? Left, lower left. Lower left. Okay, so my A goes here, so that's 30. So right away I know my side A is right there. And where does my B go? To the adjacent of angle 30. So left adjacent of angle A. Oh, that looks terrible. That looks like a K with like a long, let's try that again, of angle A. There we go. So this one will always go to the left of A. So that would be 3. That's side B. So this has to be C, and that has to be lowercase c. Everybody good with that? Okay. It's really, really important that you always label your triangle this way, because A is the side that swings. Okay, so let's solve this triangle first. Everybody good with that? Maybe let's solve that first, because that's like 2.3. We just did this. We can do this. So we have to solve this triangle. We got to solve for angle B, then we have to solve for angle C, and then side C, just like we did before. So where's my matching set? I like to highlight that. There's my matching set. So I am going to have 2 over sine 30 equals 3 over sine B. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply now. Again, a nice terminating decimal. I feel like I've been given a gift. Oh, that is not good. I don't know what I did there. Put an I. And we're going to round to the nearest whole degree. Now I know that some of you will like to skip some steps, and I have absolutely no problem with that. Yeah, I have no problem with that. If there's some stuff you want to skip here, like if you want to go from here right to there, I'm fine with that. Like, you don't have to write down every step. I'm writing it down so your notes are full and complete. Okay, so we found B. What was our next step? We got to find C. So what's C? 180 minus 79, 101. So I've got B, and I have C. Okay, so notice that C is just like a subtraction. So, you know, that's nice. We didn't have to do a lot of math there. Now we're going to go find side C. Again, I return to my matching set, which is 2 sine 30. And now I'm finding side C, sine 101. I'm going to do something, and you guys can yell at me about it after. How do you feel about that? I skipped a step. I cross multiplied that in my head. I went this by this, and this by this. So I want c by itself, so I got to divide by sine 30. Do you like that? Do you not like that? If you don't like it, or you're unsure of it, go back to writing all the steps out. We'll round to 2 decimal places just so that we're good. So there's my C. Okay, so if you only do this in a 2-solution triangle, you're going to get, what are you going to get? You're going to get a half mark for this, a half mark for this, a full mark, a full mark. Okay? So you're going to get 3 out of 5. All right? So don't give up on a question just because you think it's difficult. Do something with it. Hopefully you'll do the right thing. Okay, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now going back to our triangle. So that was triangle 1. Now we're going to swing that arm of 2 in. It doesn't change length, it changes position. So now I'm going to take this little arm here and I'm going to swing it in. It doesn't have to be perfect. So if this was 2 here, this is 2 there. And we know that angle B was 49. All right. Now, my drawing is kind of crappy, as it goes with me and trying to draw stuff. But remember that this is our orange triangle. This is our helping triangle. Okay, that's my orange triangle. What do you know about triangle properties? And I'm just going to draw this a little bit better over here. No, I shouldn't use orange, although it is erasable, which is exciting. All right, so if I swing this arm in, this is 2, and that's 2, and that's 49. So just for a minute, I want you to ignore this part of it. What kind of triangle is that when it has 2 sides that are the same? Equilateral is all sides the same. We don't know anything about this bottom. Isosceles. Somebody said it. So it's isosceles. So if it has 2 sides the same, what do we know? What else does it have the same? 2 sides and two angles. Okay. So this is where this triangle helps us. So if this is 49, that means this angle here is 49. Now, remember that this triangle in here is not our answer. Like, nothing that happens in this triangle is a solution. But what it can help us find is this part over here. What do you know about the angle measurement on a straight line? 180. So if part of it is 49, what's the other part? 131. And so where's my second triangle? Remember that my second triangle is here. So, I should probably add some more information on that. We know that angle A is still 30. That didn't change. We know that side B is still 3. All right, so this would be A. This would be B now. So the only thing our helping triangle does is help us find that new angle B. Okay? That's our new angle B. And then this would be C. Up here is this. But if we have these 2 angles, can we not find that one? Yeah? Okay. All right. So what did we find? Let me switch colors here. So in our second triangle, let me highlight our second triangle on our notes page. We found that if this is 49, then this has to be 49, which means that this is 131. And that's a really tiny 131. Let me write that out for you. So angle BC 2, the way we find that mathematically is we take 180 because it's on this straight line here, and we're going to minus 49 from it. And angle B2, so the second B1, is 131 degrees. Okay, what's the second C1? The second C1. You remember that your triangle is green. I'll just bring this one back because it's a little bit nicer of a picture. Your triangle's green. You know this one, this one. How do I find this one? Exactly. So properties of triangles, right? So all those things that you were learning in kindergarten or whenever they taught you about triangles is actually coming back into play now. So this is 180. And so this is a different principle. This was about a straight line. And this one is about interior triangles. Angles in a triangle. So this is 180 minus 131 minus 30. So angle C2 is 19. Okay, in my green triangle, what's my longest side? A green triangle, what's my longest side? Sorry, which one? B. 3 is my longest side in this case, right? Because we know that this is 19. Which one's my smallest side? C. So when you calculate C, you should know that it has to be less than 2, right? So don't get weirded out when your answers are like small and C was really big over here, but now you're in a smaller triangle. So now we're going to go ahead and solve for side C. So again, we're still going to use our matching piece of information 1. Sorry, I'm just keep bringing back this triangle. I'm still going to use the 30 and the 2 because they're still there in my small triangle. And now we're going to solve for side C. So we have 2 sine 30 equals C over sine of 19. I'm going to cross multiply. And I won't skip steps this time if that weirded you out. C times sine of 30 and equals 2 times sine of 19. Divide by sine of 30. Divide by sine of 30. So C is equal to, and we'll go 2 decimal places. I'll call that C2 because it's my second C. So you're looking at a 5-mark question for this. Yes, this will be on the quiz. Yes, this will be on the test. If you don't show me your math here, you definitely lose a half mark. Like, that's important. Just because you see a 5-mark trig question, you're going to be like, that's 2 triangles. I know that because of the point. But I need to see evidence of that. Logically, you're going to deduce that. You're going to use your problem-solving skills. But mathematically, I need to see the math behind it. Okay, you guys good? All right. All right. Okay, here we go. I really should have gotten exciting about this. Okay, so A is less than B. My matching set side is less than B. So that means I got to do math. So when A is less than B, do math. This is the fluffy cloud. So we're going to have 3 fluffy cloud, 4 times sine 30. So 3 fluffy cloud equals 2. So is 3 greater, less than, or equal to 2? Hopefully it's greater than. So if I go back to my rules on my formula sheet, if A is greater than B times sine A, we're back to our 2 solutions. So I'm actually going to stop here I'm going to pause here. No, I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to get you guys to keep going, and I want you to try this one on your own, and then we'll go over it. Okay? I'm stopping the video here for people watching this, and you can see the filled in final notes online on Student Connect.